All right, in this entry, I'm going to be giving you guys my own 2010 mock draft. I make one every year. This is my final one before the real thing tonight, so let's get right into it. I'm going to try to get through the first 15 picks in this video. I'm going to try to cram this into only 2 videos, so let's try to get this going. With the first pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the St. Louis Rams select quarterback Sam Bradford, Oklahoma. Everybody knows this pick is coming. Sam Bradford will be a Ram. It's just a question of how much money they have to pay him. He's not going to sign a contract tonight. He's not going to sign one before the draft tonight. He will be the pick. He will very possibly sit out, but he will get the money that he deserves. He will get more than Matt Stafford. I don't buy the rumor that the Redskins are going to try to trade up to number 1 to get him. They have Donovan McNabb. They can't tie that much money up to the quarterback position. Moving on. With the second pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh, Nebraska. Suh is argued by some to be the best prospect in this draft. I personally like Eric Berry a little bit more as an all-around player, but Suh's an absolute playmaker. I think this pick should be Russell Okung from Oklahoma State. I think the offensive line needs more work. I think Matt Stafford needs more protection before this team can be truly great. That being said, they want Suh. I think Suh goes here. I think he's a dominant player, and I think it's a great pick outside of the fact that Okung is available. I only give this pick a C. I love the pick, but there are better players available for Detroit. Moving on. With the third pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select defensive tackle Gerald McCoy, Oklahoma. McCoy is lauded by some as the best defensive tackle in this class. Personally, I like Suh more. He's got more production. He's got better numbers. He's got better intangibles. But there's nothing wrong with McCoy. I think McCoy is a great player. I think he's going to fit great in Tampa Bay, and he fits their biggest need. It's a great pick. Moving on. With the fourth pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins select offensive tackle Russell Okung, Oklahoma State. Okung is a great player. He's the best player in this draft. He should go number 2 to the Detroit Lions, but the Redskins get him at 4. I think it's a great pick. He's going to be great. He's going to anchor that line. He's going to protect Donovan McNabb, and he's going to make that Redskins team a lot more dangerous. With this pick, the Redskins now have the 2 most important positions in football lockdown, quarterback and left tackle. It's a great pick. I hate it as a Giants fan, but it's what's probably going to happen. Moving on. With the 5th pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select offensive tackle Brian Bulaga, Iowa. A lot of people don't like Bulaga. A lot of people say that he's a little too small. His arms are a little too short for him to play left tackle in this league. I don't think that matters to Kansas City. Kansas City GM Scott Pioli knows the importance of fortifying the trenches in the draft. He understands the importance of getting all those important positions locked down. He took a defensive end number 3 overall last year when he didn't need to, but he did it anyway. He understands the importance, and positional value is a huge thing to him. I think he's also good friends with Iowa offensive coach Kirk Ferentz, and that will make Bulaga the pick at number 5. Moving on. With the 6th pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select offensive tackle Trent Williams, Oklahoma. I don't personally love this pick. I know the Seattle Seahawks need an offensive tackle. I know they love Trent Williams. I think Trent Williams has great physical skills, but he didn't play that well at Oklahoma at left tackle this year. I think he has a future in this league. I think he can be a great player in this league, but I don't know if he's going to be an elite left tackle at an NFL level. Either way, the Seattle Seahawks are going to take the risk on him. They're going to take him, and I wish him the best in Seattle. Moving on. With the 7th pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Eric Berry, safety, Tennessee. Berry's the best player in this draft. He's a great player. He's a great all-around player. He's the next Ed Reed. He will be the premier safety in this league for the next 10 years. The Cleveland Browns are getting a great player. I have nothing to complain with about Berry's game. He's an absolute stud. He's pretty much the perfect prospect. The Browns are getting the best player in this draft at number 7 overall, and they should be really happy with this pick. Their secondary just got a lot more dangerous. With the 8th pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders select Bruce Campbell, offensive tackle, Maryland. Campbell's way too high here. He should not be going in the first round. He's got great physical measurables, but he's not a good football player. Al Davis loves athletic freaks. He took Darren McFadden. He took Darius Hayward-Bay. He took Jamarcus Russell. They are all athletic freaks, and they all had major deficiencies in their game. People argue that McFadden's a great player, but people question what McFadden would be at the next level. I think we see that now on the field. Campbell will try to be the left tackle for the Raiders, but I think he will ultimately fail. He's not a good player. He's not a good tackle, and he's going to a place that will not help him develop well. Either way, it will be the pick. Campbell will be in Oakland, and he will be off the board. With the 9th pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Dan Williams, defensive tackle, Tennessee. A lot of people think Jimmy Clausen's going to go here, but I don't see it happening. The Buffalo Bills are running a 3-4 defense, and they do not have a nose tackle to run in there. I think Dan Williams is the perfect pick. I think he's there. They will take him. It might be a little high for Williams, but you can't underestimate the importance of a tackle either on the offensive or defensive line. I think Williams is very possibly a one-year wonder, but he also has the possibility to be a great nose tackle in this league. With the 10th pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Derek Morgan, defensive end, Georgia Tech. Yes, they just signed Aaron Campbell. He's 30 years old. He's coming off ACL surgery. I don't know how effective he's going to be. Jacksonville's biggest need is to, one, fill that stadium that they have that they can't fill, and B, get a pass rush. I think Derek Morgan is one of the best defensive ends to come out in recent years, and I think he'll be a great player down there in Jacksonville. There's a lot of teams that hope he passes on, or that Jacksonville passes on Morgan, and there's a lot of teams that may trade up to try to get him. With the 11th pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Dez Bryant, wide receiver, Oklahoma State. A lot of you probably saying, whoa, slow down. It's too high for Bryant to go. They just got rid of Brandon Marshall. He's a head case. Why are they going to bring another one in? Because Josh McDaniels thinks he can get through to Bryant. He thinks he can make him his own player. McDaniels has a firm iron grip on this locker room, and I think he thinks if he can bring Bryant in, he can be that absolute stud playmaking, Randy Moss type wide receiver without the head case. If he buys into the system, which McDaniels is hoping everything will be just fine. I think it's a risky pick, but I think it's also a great pick. You can't deny Bryant's talent. I don't care what you want to say about his character. I think a little bit of it's overblown, and the Denver Broncos are unloading Marshall, and they're getting more than Marshall in return. With the 12th pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select hybrid defensive end outside linebacker Jason Pierre-Paul, South Florida. Pierre-Paul may be a one-year wonder. I'm not really sure what he's going to do at the NFL level, but everyone knows that Bill Parcells loves taking linebackers in the first round. They got Carlos Dansby. The inside is locked down. A lot of people say Rolando McClain's an option, but I'm not so sure yet. I think they're okay on the inside. On the outside, they just lost Jason Taylor to free agency to the Jets, and I think Pierre-Paul, if he pans out, will be an absolute playmaker, and I think he could be a great pick. I think under Tony Sparano and Bill Parcells, this is a great pick. I like it. I think it's a good place for Pierre-Paul to go, and I think that the Miami Dolphins are going to take the risk on a guy like Pierre-Paul and hope that he becomes the next big thing at linebacker. With the 13th pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Joe Hayden, cornerback, Florida. Everyone mocks this pick to the 49ers. Joe Hayden really can't fall much further than this. I think Joe Hayden's a great player. He's a great cornerback. He's a shutdown guy. He reminds me a lot of Charles Woodson, and I think he's going to do a lot of great things in the NFL. The 49ers need some secondary help, and they're getting the best corner in this draft. He's far and away one of the better corners that come out in years. He's an absolute playmaker. He plays against extremely tough competition in the SEC, and he will be an absolute playmaker in the NFC West. He's a great pick. I love it. Joe Hayden goes to the 49ers at number 13. With the 14th pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select C.J. Spiller, running back, Clemson. There's a lot of people that say this isn't going to happen, but there's also a lot of people that say Spiller goes in the top 10. I think this is the perfect place for Spiller to go. I think this is a great move for Seattle. Seattle needs playmakers. They need somebody on this offense. This offense is dead. In the last couple of years, Seattle's gone from one of the elite teams in the NFL to a bottom feeder. C.J. Spiller will give this offense some energy and will just electrify everyone around him. He's a great playmaker. He's a home run threat. He's not an every down back. But I think if you use him like the Saints use Reggie Bush, he could be absolutely fantastic. When I come back on my next video, I'll start with my New York Giants, and we'll see what they do.